I made something here. Good morning, it is Wednesday and I really appreciate having the day off yesterday to spend some time with Michael. I'm back today. As you guys know, watching this process, I do have a good bit of leftovers in my fridge and my freezer at this point that I could pretty much finish off the week with just leftovers alone and eat the same pancakes and hazelnut syrup for breakfast, but that's not really interesting content for you guys. And so I thought today it would be a little bit of a change up if I show you some ways you can take maybe a couple of household ingredients that you probably already have and incorporate those in to change up some of the meals and kind of make them more interesting so you don't feel like you're eating the same things every single day. Obviously, you can stick with the plan that I've set forward already and just finish off the soup and the black bean tacos. I still have some rice and vegetables in my fridge. I could make another batch of fried rice. So we have plenty of food that you could finish off if you don't have these ingredients. Use the ingredients and the meals that I've already prepared and finish off the last couple of days that way. But if you do have a couple of items in your pantry, here's a way that you can incorporate them and just change up the routine a little bit so you feel like you're getting some variety in your meals. So here is our standard pancake mix, and we have been using this for the last couple of days for our breakfast. And I want to talk about how to make these more filling because I know pancakes in and of themselves are not the most filling food long term. But I think if you add some oatmeal to this, you can stretch it a lot further. As far as oatmeal goes, you can add some flavored oatmeal packets. I have a couple of these maple and brown sugar packets that I'm actually going to be using today. I also have some fruit and cream oatmeal packets. All of this was purchased at Dollar Tree, so this is an option as well. If you're going to be using the fruit and cream oatmeal packets though, I would probably recommend using strawberry jam in place of syrup because I'm not really quite sure how maple syrup would blend with like strawberry or peach flavor. However, if you're just using a generic like the maple and brown sugar, the apple and cinnamon, they have like this kind of, I guess you would consider it like fall flavors variety pack. You could definitely use your standard maple syrup. You could use peanut butter. You could still use the hazelnut spread. All of those would top well on top of the pancakes with the kind of cinnamony flavored packets. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be making my standard pancake mix. I'm going to be incorporating some of this maple and brown sugar oatmeal packets, and then we're going to be using the same hazelnut spread as a topper. So the way that I've been making my pancakes is with 3/4 of a cup of pancake mix. Since we're going to be adding oatmeal, I'm going to cut that back a little bit. I'm going to use 2/3 of a cup of my pancake mix. And as you can see, we still have plenty of pancake mix left over for tomorrow's breakfast as well. And then I'm going to add in my oatmeal packet. I'm going to start by just adding one and see how the consistency is, and if I need to add a second packet, I always can later on. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some water to this, probably about 2/3 of a cup. You do need a little bit more water because oatmeal is a little bit more porous and will soak up some of the water than the pancake mix. So your mix may look a little bit runny at this point, but that's okay because the oatmeal still needs to rehydrate itself. So I'm going to set this aside and let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes while we preheat our skillet to fry our pancakes. My skillet is preheated. My pancake mix is rehydrated. This looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 3 pancakes down. These actually puffed up quite a lot, and I'm not sure if that was because we added the oatmeal to it. But they are ready to flip, and look at how beautiful and golden brown that still is, even with the addition of the oatmeal. Also, the oatmeal adds some sugar to the pancakes too, so that helps to caramelize them a little bit more as well. Now, like I said, from here you can do the hazelnut spread, which is what I'm going to be doing. You can do some peanut butter, warm it up in the microwave, make it like syrup. You can do your standard maple syrup. Anything you've got in the pantry you can use, and I did add a splash of water this time to the hazelnut, and it made it more like a chocolate ganache kind of texture, so that worked out beautifully. Look how like thick and rich and luscious that looks, and that was just from microwaving it with just like maybe a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of water, and then stirring that until it was well incorporated. But this almost looks more like dessert than it does breakfast. So So now let's dig into our pancakes and we can really get an idea of how much the oatmeal packet changed the flavor and the texture of the pancakes. The oatmeal made the pancakes a little bit more chewy and dense. I actually am very serious in saying that I might never make pancakes the regular way again. If I can afford pancakes and oatmeal packets, I'm going to get both, because this brought your standard run-of-the-mill pancakes and just made them so much more rich. So you guys know that over the past few days or so, you have been watching me kind of perfect the tea, and I think at this point I've got it kind of down the way I want it. But another way we can change things up is by changing the flavor that we add to the tea. I've been doing lemonade packets pretty much this whole week, but I also have some pineapple packets. And so you can change up the flavor profiles of the tea by adding different flavors of drink mixes to it, or in this case, I'm gonna do a lemonade and a pineapple packet because Starbucks sells a pineapple black tea lemonade, and so we're gonna kind of recreate something like that, but just using Dollar Tree ingredients. I've kind of made the tea the way that I want to make it for the past few days, and it has turned out good. So I have boiled 4 cups of water in my coffee pot here. It's close to 4 or 5 cups, and then I've been adding about 6 bags of tea. And I'm just gonna kind of let this sit and steep for about 15 to 20 minutes. So after 20 minutes, my tea has been steeped, so I'm gonna go ahead and take out all of my tea bags. Just kind of let them drip dry. And I'm gonna throw those away. And then into the warm tea, I'm gonna add 1 packet of pineapple and 1 packet of lemonade drink mix. Since it's warm, this will dissolve a little bit better. Go ahead and give that a quick mix. Oh my God, this smells so good. Oh, did I just make something? And then I have a pitcher here. This has 2 tall drinking glasses of ice. So here's my drinking glass. Tall drinking glass. I filled this up twice to the top with ice, and that is what's in my pitcher here. And I'm going to pour over my tea and lemonade infusion. All right, ready? I made something here. Like, I actually made something here. This is really good. I would highly recommend this. If you guys have the ingredients, or if you can go to your Dollar Tree, all you need is tea, pineapple, and lemonade. You are all set. Way cheaper than Starbucks too. Had a bit of a fun and eventful morning with everything we've done so far, so I'm gonna keep lunch relatively simple. I'm just going to reheat some more of my soup. Might as well just finish it off because that's a full bowl and I have like just a smidge left, so I might just go ahead and finish off the soup today. I've kind of at this point run out of sources of proteins, like I've run out of meats and stuff like that. Everything's been cooked or used, so I do pretty much have, I still have pasta, I still have rice, and I still have some frozen vegetables. Of course, I still have my bouillon powder. You guys will always see me looking over here because this is where I have all of my dry ingredients basically just kind of piled over here. I also still have soy sauce, and I had an interesting comment the other day about umami, I think it's pronounced. And so I've kind of been thinking about that for a while now, and I was like, what if I take this rice that I've got, which, you know, I've pre-cooked this rice, it's already got vegetables and stuff in it. Of course, I still have extra mixed vegetables. I have bouillon powder, I have soy sauce, so we could just make some sort of a rice and vegetable soup, somewhat inspired by a Chinese rice soup, but it's going to be quite a dulled down version, but it should still be pretty delicious. So in my pot here, I'm going to go ahead and add the rest of my bag of frozen mixed vegetables. I'm going to cover that with 4 cups of water. And of course, we're going to add some bouillon powder, about 4 teaspoons. This doesn't really need to cook per se, but just like when I did the rice the other day, I talked about softening up the peas. So I'm probably going to try to do a similar process here. I'm going to bring this up to a boil, and then I'm just going to let it simmer for 15 to 20 minutes. And then we can add in our rice and some soy sauce, and we should be pretty much done at that point. This is going to come together very quickly. So once my soup has kind of simmered for a while, I have the rest of my rice and vegetable mixture from earlier in the week. This was the pre-cooked rice that I made the fried rice with. It's just been chilling in my fridge for a couple of days now, and as you can see, it's a little over 2 cups, so I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. I'm just going to let this continue to cook for about 5 minutes just to heat the rice through. That's really all it needs at this point because the rice is already cooked. Oh, and I did want to mention that I ended up adding an extra 2 cups of water and an extra 2 teaspoons of bouillon powder because I anticipated that it wouldn't be a very brothy soup. If I had made it, it would be more like a porridge kind of texture if I didn't add any extra water to it. So I'm really glad I did that because this looks about perfect for a rice and vegetable soup. The only other thing I'm going to be adding is 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. And then once this heats through, I'll give it a taste and I can add some additional soy sauce, pepper. Actually, pepper's a good idea. So we can season this pretty liberally with some pepper. And then, yeah, let it heat through about 5 minutes. It should be ready to eat. So this soup, while it may be fairly basic in nature, is actually really delicious. And I did add an extra tablespoon of soy sauce and just a splash more water. So I didn't overpower, I didn't want it to be too salty because soy sauce can be pretty salty and that vegetable bouillon can be pretty salty. But otherwise, the broth on this is so good and rich tasting. It's got that salty soy flavor to it. We've got some vegetables, we've got some rice. I mean, simplicity at its best. So as with most of these things, I did already try it while cooking, so I do know that the seasoning is perfect, but let's go ahead and give it a taste on camera as well. I probably wouldn't have something like this in the summer, but right now when it's chilly season and I'm wearing a hoodie and I feel all cozy, this is like the kind of cozy meal that I love. I actually really adore this soup, and I thought that this would be one of the least impressive meals that I've made, and I think it is one of the least impressive as far as use of ingredients goes because it's just chicken, rice, broth, and soy sauce and pepper. But there is something to be said about the simplicity of this and how delicious it is despite the fact that it doesn't really have intricate ingredients. So homey, so hearty, and so cozy. I think this is where I'm going to leave you guys off for today. I will probably have a bag of popcorn later as Michael and I watch a movie tonight. But otherwise, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I will see you again tomorrow morning for the final day of the budget grocery week.